So this is a lesson that is teaching copyright using the Assure model. And the first thing we're going to do is focus on the A, which is analyzing learners. My students are fifth graders and they are high risk. They're economically disadvantaged. They're primarily Hispanic and a lot of them are bilingual. So they speak English and Spanish, primarily Spanish at home and English at school. I'm going to use these things to engage them in the lesson. I know that a lot of them, or all of them, are born in the digital age, meaning they were born with some sort of digital device in their hands from a very young age. So I feel like I can entice them to the copyright lesson using that piece of information. The S stands for state standards and objectives. I did state the objectives, so students will be able to clearly identify copyright rules. That's the overall goal. They will demonstrate knowledge of the copyright rules, and they will determine whether a hypothetical scenario violates the copyright law. So the way that they're demonstrating their knowledge of copyright rules is through a short activity that has them use or start a poster by finding an image and finding an appropriate image, whether it be giving credit to wherever they got it from or using a website that I provided that is free for use. The second S is select standards and resources. So copyright law is the focus, like I said, of the lesson. The resources that I did mention the last slide are arXiv and Pixabay, and students will be working collaboratively to find the image for their animal research project to practice abiding by copyright rules. They will be doing this with a partner since it's their first exposure, but for the final project, they will be doing it by themselves. So researching their chosen animal and abiding by the copyright laws to create a product to present. The U, utilizing resources. So as a whole group, we will have a discussion to gauge students' knowledge of the copyright laws. So using that communication to understand where they're at. Provide scenarios for students to hold their own discussions about fair use and when the law is potentially violated. So I believe having those conversations within themselves or within each other, their group, will help them understand what fair use is and how copyright law relates to that. Now, students will be provided with options for safe image use. Like I said, Pixabay or arXiv are websites to consider. The R, require learner participation. Students will participate in whole group discussions and discussions with their collaborative group. So really focusing on that communication with myself and the group and with each other. Now, students will start a poster for their final product by finding an image of their chosen animal for their research project. So really having them browse the internet and find their own image and see if they really do understand, okay, is this fair use or am I violating anything? The E is evaluate and revise. So students will write their response to the scenario to be submitted for grading. Now they must justify their answer using information from the presentation to get full credit. Students will start the beginning stages of a poster by finding an image and correctly using it. So really practicing browsing the internet.